Hello, good evening. Please, if you can hear me, let me know. Let me know in the comment section, please. I would appreciate that. So let me know, guys. Good evening and welcome. So this is what I'm going to be showing you cut today. If you see, this is a corset. It has a plunging neckline and then there's an extended yoke. It doesn't. You can see the yoke. The yoke came to the end of this shoulder, like they made the yoke like into like a small sleeve before they now attach this sleeve. You understand? So the yoke is come down a little bit. You understand? So it's not a yoke that stopped here at the shoulder, it extended down. So that's what I'll show you guys how to achieve tonight. So we're going to be starting. Let me know from the comment section if the sound is okay so that we can start. I just want to do this. So let's do finish and go and rest. So just trying to cut my paper. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draft the back and then we'll go ahead and draft the front, okay? So let me know if sound is okay. Somebody should okay. Thank you so much for confirming. Thank you. BC Bisola. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let's start. So the first thing we are going to do, we're going to draft, like I said, let's draft the back of this pattern, okay? So let's draft the back. The first thing we want to do, remember that shoulder. So this is where like the game is. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mark a start line. So this line is going to be the shoulder line, okay? So when you want to do this, you have to measure from your across back. You know the way we normally measure boo. That you measure, I hope, I don't know, from your across back. You understand? So you measure your across back measurement like you want to measure a boo. So let me just use the front part of my camera. That is like this is your center of your back. You measure it to where you want that yoke. So that yoke is going to stop maybe like 11 or 12. It depends on where you want, how extended you want it to be. Okay. So for this, what happened? I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to my lights. Let me Let me just check it. Let me get them to check it for me. This light just went off, and I'm on live. I don't know. So now I'm left with light that is not very bright. Is it okay? Is it working now? Sorry? Okay. Let me use this light. So you people should let me just manage with this one. It shows that the battery is not good now. It shows that the battery is not good now. Because okay, so let's continue. Let's drop the front first because my lights now is an issue. So let's do the difficult ones first. So we're going to do the front. So like I said, we are using 12 inches. Normally, the shoulder that I'm making use of for this, normally the shoulder I'm making use of is supposed to be 14, which is 7. You understand? So that's supposed to be the normal shoulder. But since this is an extended shoulder, I'm going to be using 12. You understand? So it extended, this is 12. So that means like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches from the shoulder. That makes it 12. Okay. So I'm just going to add 1 to it to make it 13. So from that point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. Okay. And then I'll connect that into my that shoulder line. So the next thing I want to measure the bust point. So for this, the bust point, I'm going to make use of 10 inches, and then the under bust is going to be 13, and then the half cut, we're going to use 17 inches, okay? And then let's use 23 for the full length. So those are all of the measurements that I'm going to be making use of. So I'm just going to connect all of those lines to get this, okay? So if you are just joining us, you're welcome. Let me know where you're watching me from. Please like this video, okay? Like the video, I would appreciate that. So the next thing we want to do now, we want to mark our armhole. So remember, and this armhole is not going to be the normal armhole. You understand? This armhole is going to be small. We're not going to use, because it's just a small round hole, okay? So that's depends on how this part of your sleeve, how tight it. That's what we're going to be doing, not the regular armhole. So for this, I'm going to use 10 inches. So that 10 inches, I'll divide it by 2. I'm going to have 5. I'll add half. So that is going to be my armhole. So it's not going to be normal, it's not like our normal armhole, you understand? It's not a normal armhole. So this is how it is going to be, okay? This is how it's going to be. That part, that is how it's going to be. It's not going to be the normal armhole. So the next thing I want to do, I want to mark my chest line. So for this, I am using 8 inches for my chest line. That chest line, I will go up. You understand? From my chest line, I'm going to go up. 8 inches is my chest line. So I'm going to go up. I'll just go up just like 1 inch, okay? So that I'll be able to connect that line. I'll just connect that line here like this. So I'll connect it, and this one I'm just going to extend this, okay? So this is going to be the round part of my sleeve, so just watch. So the next thing I want to do now, I want to mark that. So for the dart, I'm going to use half of my armhole. There's another way I can actually do this also, okay? So there's another way, that's I can use my normal regular armhole and then extend this, okay? So let me teach you guys that. You know, this is my normal regular armhole, which is 7 plus 1, that's 8 inches. I'll show you guys how to do that one, and there I'm going to mark. So I'll just use this same 7. So let me just show you guys how to do that. Let's use the pencil to do that, okay? I'll mark it like this, okay? And then from here now, I'll create a curve like this, and so I'll create a curve. So when you create a curve now, so this now is not extra, you understand, the extra part, you can see that it's still the same thing in case you want to use this, okay? Can you see? So it's the same. So this is like the extra extended part, you understand? So the next thing we want to do, let's create our dart. So we're using 4 inches. So that 4 inches, I'm going to mark that 4 inches across all of the line, which is 8 inches. Divide by 2, that will give me 4. Mark it on all those lines, and then I'll connect it with my straight ruler. So this line automatically is my chest line. We're still going to work on that line. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now, I just want to double check. Excuse me. I want to double check, okay? Okay. So normally my chest line is 8 inches, and then I came up by 1 inch, which is 7. So I'm still going to take it up a little bit, okay? So the next thing we want to do, so this is my bust point, under bust, waist, and then my full length, and then this is my chest line, okay? So the next thing I want to do, I want to take my dart, okay? So the dart, I'm going to use 3 inches of that. So that 3 inches, I'll take 1.5 inch to my right and then 1.5 inch to my left, okay? And then so like we are making a cupped corset. Note, that is what we are doing. We're drafting a cupped corset. So after taking the dart to the down, the next thing you want to do is you want to connect it to the bust point line like this. Can you see? Just connect it, so forming the cups already, and then you take the second one also, you are going to connect it like this too. You can see the cups are halfway formed. The next thing, you need to extend this line to that top of that chest line, okay? So when you extend it, if you notice from and that picture, from the picture, If you notice, the corset is a plunging. You can see it's plunged. You can see that it is not a high corset, like it's not those ones that comes up. So this is where we're going to stop it. So that was why, because that was, you can see that that chest line, sorry, the what do you call it, from the chest line is usually 8. This is 7 inches. I came up just 1 inch. Most times come up, we come up 2 inches or 2.5 inches to be able to create that curve, and then that one will cover the top properly. But if you notice, this one did not cover. Can you see the cups? It's not covered. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now, we want to create this plunge. That's this V that we have here. Okay, so that V, it got to the under bust, and this is our under bust. So from that under bust, I mark 1/4 inch here. I'll just come in by 1/4 inch, depends on how wide, but 1/4 inch is okay. So from that 1/4 inch, the next thing I am going to do from that 1/4 inch, I'm going to mark, I'll use my pencil. Okay, so from that part, I'm going to create a curve like this. And that, okay, before then, let's tighten this part. Let's do the over bust tightening. So for the over bust, I'm going to use 0.65 to my right and then 0.65 to my left. Okay, so when I do that, the next thing, I want to connect it to the bust point. Yes, so I'll connect it like this to the bust point. Can you see? And then this one also, I'll connect it to the bust point like this. Okay, can you see? So after connecting it, so the next thing I want to do now, I want to create that my corset cup. So in creating my corset cup, you can see that the neckline. Okay, so I'm just going to take this. So I came in, you remember I came in by 1/4 inch. So from this point like this, I'm just going to create that plunge like this. Hmm? After creating the plan, I want this side to be this wide, so I'm just going to come in a little more like this. I'm just using my, it's going to cut out from that point, so that is why. And I'll curve it into this point like this. So that's my cup. So the next thing I want to do now, this cup, I want to cover it. So here's what I'm just going to do. From this point, I'm just going to create like a curve like this. Do you understand? It's a simple process. Just create a curve like this. You understand? So this neck, this one is going to come here like this, and then this goes in like this. Okay, so that's it for my cup. You see, it is, like I said, it's a simple process. The next thing we want to do, we want to check the difference. What we have here, we have 3 inches. So on this side, I'm going to mark 4 inches here, because our bust is usually fuller around those our, around our, what do you call it, around our armhole, around our armpits area. So I'm just going to curve this like this. So I'll curve it, and then from there I will use this like this. I'll connect it like this. So I'll clean it. It's looking, I don't like how it is looking. So I'm going to check the difference between those two parts. Okay, so here's how I'm going to check. I'll check it like this. So I have about 3 inches here, and then I have about 3 inches. So this, I'm going to extend it a little bit to create that curve. So let the curve, let it flow into this part like this. Okay. So the next I want to do now, I want to take out my full body measurement. So this particular corset is an advanced corset. So I want to take my full body measurement. The bust is 36. So I'm using our normal regular measurement, 36, 30, and 34. and then 40 is our bust, under bust, waist, and then the full length. That's the hem. So I'm using 9 inches. So I'll mark it, which is 36. So that 9 inches, I'm going to add my 3 inches allowance, and then I'll add just like that, and then I'll come to the under bust area. I'm using T, which is 7.5. I'll add the 3 inches that, and then add just 1 inch stitching allowance. I'll come to my waist. I'm using 34. I'll divide 34 into 4. I'll mark 8.5, add my 3 inches that, and then 1 inch stitching allowance. So like I said, this corset is an advanced corset. I'll add 10 inches, which is for 40 divided by 4. I'll add 1 inch that, and sorry, 3 inches that, and then 1 inch stitching allowance. So I think this particular corset, I'm going to look for another way to teach it to make it much more easier. Okay, but it is an advanced corset. That's just the truth. It's not like normal simple ones that you can just draft easily. So you can see. You see the way the top is. You see the way the top is now. You see the shoulder part. You see the yoke. So you see how it is. So the next thing I want to do now, I'm going to show you guys how to snatch the waist. If you've been following me by now, you will already know. So for this, I'm going to come up for to create my basque. I'm going to come up. It's like it has a little basque. So let me just check it. Just a little basque. So I'm just going to come up by 4 inches. I'll mark it there, and then from that 4 inches, I'm going to connect this like this. So I'll just connect it that way. Okay, so if you want to snatch the waistline, I'm going to come to this part like this. So depends on how many inches snatch I want to give it. If I want to snatch it with just like 2 inches, I'm going, or 3 inches. Let's do 3 inches. So I'll use 1.5 inch for the front, and then 1.5 inch for the back. So for this, I'll put 1 inch on this side, and then put half inch on this side. So I'm just going to mark a random marker, and then I would connect that mark like this. So I just connect like this. Can you see? I'll connect it, and then I'll take half inch to my right, and then half inch to my left. Okay. I pray that I don't miss that. And then I'm going to connect those lines like this. That's like it's like an extra dart. So when we say we are snatching waistline, what we are just trying to do is that we are reducing a little bit, okay, for the waistline. So I'll take quarter of an inch to this side, and then quarter of an inch. So it depends on how many inches you want to snatch, you understand? If you want to snatch like 4 inches, you take out 2 inches from the back, and then 2 inches from the front. Okay, so this is it. You can see. So if you have questions, please drop your questions. So let me show you guys first. The first thing is, let us cut out the yoke first. Okay, so if you have questions, you can drop your questions on the comment section. So you can see our corset blouse. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut out all of this, and then I'm going to cut that yoke, which is very important. Very important, this yoke. And then you cut this part out, the shoulder, the shoulder slant. You cut it out, and then you are left with this. So now the next thing I want to do now, my I want to cut out my cups. Okay, so let's see. So you're going to cut it this way. Just watch. Can you see? It is very important. This, like I said, corset is not. So I'll cut out my cups. like that, and then I'll cut out the second cup. You guys should please like this video. I would appreciate that. And then I'll take out the second cup. So this is the second cup. So most of all these plunging neckline and corsets, their yoke cups are always looks so funny. Can you see? So this is how it looks. Can you see? You see what we have here on the table. Mm. Yes, you can use the dart intake. You can use the yes, you can use the dart intake that I did. Yes, you can use the dart intake for anybody. It's okay. You understand? You can use that 3 inches. You can use it. It's okay. Very perfect. So this is for the front, okay? Now we're going to draft the back. Thank God that our network is still okay up until now. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys how to draft the back. So for the back, we're still going to use the extended yoke for the back. So I'll show you guys how to do it the other way that I was trying to explain later. So I'm going to come to this point. I'm going to mark my shoulder line. So remember we're using, okay, so I'll just mark the shoulder line. Just let's leave it that way. And then I'll mark my bust point, which is 10. The under bust is 13. The half cut is 17. And then we're using 23 for the full length, okay? And then I'm going to extend, and sorry, I'm going to cut the whole of those lines like this. So the next thing I want to measure the normal sleeve, normal shoulder, which is 14, that's 7, and then half inch, okay? So from this point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and then I'll mark to the armhole, okay? So because of the nature of the yoke that we want to do, I'm going to use 7 inches. We did that in the front first part. I'll use 7 inches. So I'll mark the 7 inches like this. I'm going to show you guys how to do that extension, okay? I'll mark it like that, and then I'm just going to create a curve. I'll create a curve like this. So the next thing we want to do now, we want to take our dart. So for the dart, we're using our bust span of 4 inches. I'll mark the 4 inches like this. I'll just mark it across all the lines that I marked, okay? And then I'm it with a straight ruler like this. So automatically this 4 inches is going to serve as our what do you call it? It's going to serve as our chest line. So I'll just extend it that way. The next thing I want to do now, I want to mark that. So for the dart, so this is chest line, bust point, under bust, waist, and then full length. I'll come to my under bust. So I'm taking a dart of just 1 inch. I'll take half inch to my right and then half inch to my left. Okay, so since I'm not going to be extending it, I'm just going to mark it. Sorry, no, 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 no. So sorry about that. It's from the waist. I wasn't. The pattern was already looking funny. I was like, this part is so short. So note, please, it's from the waist. That's where you take out your dart. From the waist. From the waist. So I'll mark it that way. So the next thing I want to do now, I want to do that extension. Remember, so for that extension, I'm using 12 piece for the extra shoulder, and then I added 1 inch to it. Okay, so from that part, I am just going to create my curve. That's I'll create like another curve here, like this. So that's just like basically, and that curve is not like it's not like it is a straight cut curve. It's not a straight curve. So I'm not going to curve it. So from that point, I'm just going to mark my 1 inch. That's I'll come down by 1 inch for that shoulder slope. Okay, and then just create this slope. And at that point, I'm just going to mark it like a straight line like this. You understand? So that is going to be like for the armhole, like a straight line, because all you are just going to do is just to join it. So that's like the extra part of the shoulder. Okay, so I hope you got that. So that's like the extra part of the yoke. So this one is no more needed. You are not going to cut here. This is where you will cut. So this is the part that you're going to hold when you join it, that you're going to hold. So like I added extra. Normally I'm going to use, it's going to be about 5 inches, you understand? So this one is going to be like extra allowance. So I hope you understand. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, let's take out our full body measurement. So our full body measurement, our bust is 36, that's 9. We'll add 1 inch for allowance and then 1 inch for that. So from that point, we'll come to that bust, which is 35, which is 30, sorry, which is 30, that's 7.5. 30 divided by 4, and then I'll add 1 inch that, and then 1 inch stitching allowance. I'll come to my waist. So the waist measurement is 8.5, and then I'll add back my dart and then add my stitching allowance. So I know I showed you guys the measurements from the first part when we're doing the front part. So if, in case you don't know, so the under the waist is 40 divided by 4. I'll add my dart and then add my stitching allowance. So I wrote out all of the measurements initially. So in case for those of you that will be wondering, like, so the next thing I want to do now, I want to show you guys how to do that snatch waist again for the back. So I'm going to mark it here like this, and then I would just connect this straight like this. Okay, so like I said, we're using 3 inches for the dart intake for the snatch waist. So I'll you put 1.5 at the front and then 1.5 at the back. So this is half here, half here. So this is 1 inch on one side. Okay, please note. So like I said, this particular one, you can use it for anybody. This one is just like modest, that you are not going to, it's not going to kill the person. You understand? So I'll take 1/4 inch on this side and then 1/4 inch on this side. So everything will now be it will now be 1.5 inch. Okay. So but if you go and take so much like from 5, 6, you see those people, they say they eliminate the waist by how many inches, they go dey clap for themselves, they feel say they dey try. At the end of the day, that particular corset, they are just showing it. The person cannot sit, the person cannot walk, the person cannot eat if they go for a party. So it's better for you to show something that at the end of the day it will be okay. So I'm going to come up by 3 inches and then I'll curve it. You wear cloth that you wear to party now. At the end of the day, the whole party, everything don't go spoil for you. You won't be able to, you won't be comfortable. So it's good for you. It's just better. Okay, so the front part, the front part, I did not add the neckline. I did not add the measurement of the neckline. So for this, I'll use 3.5 inches. This is the back by 2 inches. I didn't add it in the front yoke. I totally forgot. So I'm just going to curve this like this. So you guys should like this video, okay? So I've come to the end of it. You people should like the video. Let me know in the comment section. So this was the front one. Let me put the neckline. I know it will now be looking like film in some people's eyes. So that's 3 inches by 2 inches or by 2.5. Depends on how deep you want the neckline to be. Then you mark it like this. So this is the front yoke. Can you see? And then this one is the back, our back pattern. So in case you have questions, you can drop your questions on the comment section. While I am still here now, I will soon This is our back. You can see it is an extended yoke. That's for the back, and then this one is for our front. Sometimes I love this pattern so much I don't even want to pieces it. So you can see. So this is how it's going to be. Can you see the yoke? You see that it is extended more than it should be. So guys, let's see if we have questions. Good evening, Angela. Shuku. Oh, you're just joining. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Okay, Bisola. Okay, I hope I've been able to answer your question. Z Ziotova. Thank you so much for joining. Agnes, thank you. Omo. Help my life, God. Malawa. You're watching from Zambia. Thank you so much. Bisola, thank you for confirming our network. Ada Kupa. Thank you. Thank you all of you that joined this evening. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to all of you. God bless you all for joining. I'll see you guys tomorrow by God's grace for our evening live stream.